These are some of the rules my parents had for me growing up. They weren't super strict, but they were strict about certain things. Okay, starting off pretty basic. The second I had a phone in my possession, I had to get Life 360. I got my first phone in like 5th grade, so they weren't super strict about the age, but I did have like limitations. I wasn't allowed to give anyone my phone number, like not even my friends at school. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I got my phone in like 3rd grade actually. So it probably lasted throughout elementary school, that rule. This next one made me so mad, but I wasn't allowed to get my ears pierced until I was like 10 or 11. I don't know why, like my mom just always said I was too young or something. I was so jealous because all my friends had their ears pierced, and me and my sister got our ears pierced for like a video, and she was 6 years old, and that pissed me off so much. This next one I thought was so weird. I wasn't allowed to like sit in the front seat of the car until I was like 11. I don't know, that was a weird one. Same with like staying home alone. I don't think I was allowed to stay home alone until I was 12. They were so against that. Straight up told me it was illegal. I also wasn't allowed to have sleepovers. My first sleepover was like at the end of elementary school, and it was literally because we were super close. My parents knew their parents and we were neighbors. I remember being so mad about this one because I would get invited to like birthday parties and stuff, and there would always be a sleepover after, and I just had to leave because my parents wouldn't let me sleep over. The next one is I wasn't allowed to go in my neighborhood, like ride my bike or go for a walk or something by myself or with friends unless there was like an adult with us or somebody watching us. Like I always wanted to go to like the park with my friends that's in my neighborhood, and my mom would be like, no, I'm going with you. Like if I wanted to ride my bike, my mom would just either sit at the window or sit outside, and I just rode up and down the street. Like I couldn't like basically leave the premises. And throughout like middle school, I wasn't allowed to be in public by myself or like with my friends either. My mom would always tag along. The next one is I wasn't allowed to drive with new drivers or just anyone, probably under the age of 21, I'm guessing. Like whether it was in elementary school or middle school and my friend's older sibling wanted to drive us somewhere, that wasn't allowed. And then like 8th grade and my freshman year when I didn't have my license, but I had like older friends that could drive me and my friends, that also wasn't allowed. I still ended up doing it though. I just had to lie about who was driving, which kind of got caught a few times, but that's okay. When me and my sister were younger, we obviously fought a lot. My parents didn't like that, but I specifically wasn't allowed to like call her stupid, ugly, dumb, and idiot, like none of that. No name calling, or I was really like in trouble.
So
Okay, I low-key had trouble thinking of more, but I remember I wasn't allowed to watch like so many cartoons growing up. One of them being SpongeBob. Like yes, my parents were those parents that didn't let me watch SpongeBob. But weirdly enough, my mom literally begged me to watch Friends in elementary school, and I did. I rewatched that show like 8 times since then, but I thought that was kind of weird that I was allowed to watch Friends but not SpongeBob. That's basically all I can think of. There's probably more, but they're probably blocked in my memory, and my parents are not like this